Steve Harvey is a prominent American businessman, actor, author, game show host, and former comedian. Harvey is also the author of the New York Times best-selling book Act Like a Lady, Think Like a Man, as well as 3 other books. In addition to this, he is also the founder of the Steve Harvey Global Entertainment Company, which is a shell company for most of his other successful businesses. So, considering Steve Harvey's impressive list of achievements, we'll be diving into how this inspiring man came to be in this video. But first, make sure to subscribe to the channel for more similar content. Let's dive in. After years of studying the lives of the world's most accomplished people, we noticed that success leaves clues. In fact, it is one of the primary reasons we write success stories about extraordinary people like Steve Harvey. We also choose to write about Steve Harvey because he has an inspiring rags to riches story. That story everyone should know about. In addition to this, we also know that every story possesses hidden gems that can inspire us, inform us, and better us in new ways. So, with that being said, if you're ready to learn how Steve Harvey transformed his life from ordinary to extraordinary, then let's dive in. As a young boy, Steve Harvey had a dream. In his early days, when he was just in grade school, he made up his mind that he wanted to become famous and be on television. In fact, he was so determined that this is what he wanted to do with his life that he bravely stood before his entire class one day after the teacher gave every student the opportunity to tell the class what they wanted to be when they grew up. This was a big leap for Steve Harvey because not only was he young and knew little about the real world, but he had a severe stutter. A stutter that many people would use as an excuse for when they couldn't do something. Steve Harvey's decision to stand up in front of his class and tell the world what he intended to do with his life was a defining moment for him. Here's why. After being asked what he wanted to be when he grew up and sharing his vision with his teacher and his entire class that he wanted to be on television someday, he was ridiculed. He shared his vision, his dreams, and as typically happens to far too many starry-eyed kids with big dreams, someone belittles them. In Harvey's case, it was his own teacher who tried to snuff out his dream. She assured Harvey that he would never make it onto television or in the entertainment industry because of his severe stutter. This teacher leveled with Harvey that his dream was a pipe dream, especially considering no one in this community ever had or would make it big in the entertainment world. But Harvey didn't let his teacher destroy his dream. Instead, he used his teacher's doubts as fuel. He personally took her naysaying as a challenge and committed himself to proving her wrong someday. Now, even though Steve Harvey chose to challenge his teacher's naysaying, he still had to go through some serious trials and tribulations before he would take this leap. In fact, before making it, Steve Harvey spent years bouncing from job to job. He worked as an auto worker, an insurance salesman, a mailman, a carpet cleaner, and many other jobs. That's right, before he became the successful person he is today, he struggled just to make ends meet. But then, at the age of 27, he decided to finally go after his dream. And this is when things became really difficult for Harvey. Steve Harvey finally took a leap of faith to pursue a career in comedy, and for the following 3 years, he would struggle. For 3 years, he was homeless and living out of his Ford Taurus so he could continue to pursue his dream. For 3 grueling years, Harvey would do small stand-up comedy gigs and local shows to scrape by. Barely making enough money to survive, he persisted on this path as it was part of his plan for breaking into show business. Unfortunately, things would get so bad for Steve Harvey that he eventually found himself having to bathe in the sinks and toilet stalls at hotel bathrooms. It actually got so bad for Harvey that he hit his breaking point during one of his bathing sessions. One day, while lathering up with soap and being unable to come out to finish his bath for fear of being seen by a flood of men who happened to be in the bathroom because of a break in a conference that the hotel was hosting, Harvey made up his mind to call it quits. Interestingly, on the day Steve Harvey was considering giving up, instead of calling his dad to ask him if he could move back home, he instead decided to check an answering machine his parents set up for him for anyone who was looking to contact him while he was on the road. Lo and behold, on the answering machine was a message from the Apollo Comedy Club inviting him to come to their show. Harvey seized the opportunity, and even though he didn't have the means to fly across the country to be on the show initially, he found a way. After Steve Harvey landed his debut on the Apollo Comedy Club, which put him smack dab where he wanted to be, on television, and he never looked back. Steve Harvey has been on television in some way, shape, or form every single day since that fateful day. He went on to become known as the King of Comedy, becoming the host of the Apollo Comedy Club, which would eventually come to be known as It's Showtime at the Apollo. He made his way onto TV shows, into movies, hosting his own TV show, and becoming the host of the extremely popular show Family Feud. Harvey has had a long and extremely successful career in the entertainment industry, and since 2017, he has successfully been running various businesses under the name Steve Harvey Global. One thing that's important to keep in mind is that despite all of Steve Harvey's success on the big screen and his accumulation of millions, he had to work hard for it. Harvey earned every bit of the success he has now, and he did it because he harbored an effective success ethos. Steve Harvey has also been shown to have a fierce dedication to his work. He mentioned during interviews how he makes sure to always have something going on in terms of money-making activities, i.e. shows, events, movies, and other business activities. He makes it a point to keep himself busy, never ceasing to have a job or show to work on, because he never wants to be homeless again. In short, much of his success can be attributed to a strong work ethic. Lastly, Steve Harvey attributes much of his success to faith. Harvey is a godly man who is convinced that had he not read and believed in a few passages from the Bible, namely Proverbs, that he wouldn't have had the faith necessary to the heights of success he has reached. That was all from us today for this video, folks. If you liked the video, be sure to drop a like. See you in the next one.